Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, and the loving audience, all beautiful people present here from all around the globe. I'm Ms. Nada Ratkovic, IIU board member, country director, IIU Croatia, president of Research Center IIU. Welcome all you for the first Europe International Conference on New Vision for European Teachers in Education, event for all the educators around the globe, organized by International Internship University, IIU Europe, the first global virtual university offering quality, accessible, location-independent, and skill-based education around in all areas. IIU is the unique amalgamation of traditional and modern methods of education. IIU Europe is all geared up to share knowledge and revolutionize the education under the strong leadership of our head, Miss Dr. Inga Karchilova. Europe is one of the world's most exciting continents which offers world-class education and research. First, I'm pleased and honored to present our organizer,
Hello.
International Internship University, IIU. IIU is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well-reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs, and it is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than thousands plus courses and internships to their e-learners across the globe with the help of its 1,000 plus global educators. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wing in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist and passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. The sky is the limit for his dedication and hard work. IIU has formed its 4 councils, namely Women Entrepreneurs Council, International Student Development Council, International Youth Development Council, International Council of Educators. The main objective behind the councils is to provide support in every respect to the students, youths, women entrepreneurs, and educators. IIU is coming up with the biggest knowledge exchange program, BICUP. All the students are invited to be a part of it. IIU have started the membership drive for the International Student Development Council. Registrations are open. Be the change with IIU. Many European countries are offering excellent opportunities for living, traveling, and working. Educators in Europe, like all around the world, plays a vital role in the upcoming and social context of Europe. Across the continent, there are multitude of different education systems, each with their own attitudes and approaches to educating their population. For students, Europe can be a very attractive destination thanks to its well-deserved reputation as a hub of academic excellence. Today, experience a world-class higher education in Europe and all the benefits from an extensive choices of all courses, studies, doctoral studies programs, and more. Today, Europe is ready to share knowledge, and revolutionize education with Dr. Inga Karchilova from Georgia. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Inga Karchilova. She is a IIU Europe head. She is country director of IIU Georgia. She is IIU board member. She's a project director of the conference. Welcome, Dr. Inga, IIU head Europe. Please address our audience.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Hello, everyone. I'm Inga Hachilava from Georgia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I want to express my gratitude to everyone. It is a great honor for me to be with you today. I'd like to express my thank you to Mr. Peyush Pandit for this trust. Mr. Peyush, sir, you are doing an important and amazing job for the society. And I always want to wish you success. Please keep up the good work. God bless you. I realize my position and I will do my best to be worth it. I have already started my work and I have planned 5 conferences. I will try, yes, I will try to make Europe as active as possible and get involved in the education revolution. You are doing all the amazing and important things. I am proud of you all. Today is the 1st of July, a very important day for us. The first conference of your project is announced today. I want to wish success to all the outstanding speakers. I believe this will be an unforgettable and inspiring conference. We will hear and learn a lot of new information today. Yes, today the top educators of the European countries have united and Europe is ready to share its knowledge with the public. Thanks again to everyone and good luck. Go ahead, my best team. We are ready. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Dr. Inga Karchilova, IIU head of Europe. I want to tell a few things more about our great Dr. Inga. She's an educator. She's a teacher of geography and entrepreneurship basics in Zestapu Sherpil in Qualify Public School. She's a trainer of junior achievements from Georgia software. She's a great speaker ambassador. She gets many awards and recognitions. She get the best entrepreneurship teacher of 2019. She is running Global Friends Club. She's a CEO. She's in Global Education Network. She's a writer. She's an author, and many of that. We are really proud on our new head of IIU Europe. But today we will explore languages, diverses, and cultures in many environments. We have today 10 speakers from 10 Europe countries. Each speaker will be representative of his own country and he will share the actual and factual insights of education on different topics and different stages because between our great speakers, we have them from many stages of education, from primary, from secondary, and from the university. You will hear today what Europe is doing and how Europe will be implemented in IIU and in IIU's education. So let's gain international experiences, skills, and knowledge. First, I want to present our first today's speaker. She is well-known educator. She is Professor Georgia Maneta from Greece. She is a state primary school teacher of English. She holds a Bachelor A in English Language and Literature from Aristotle University of Greece and MAE in Literature in English from Dalarna University, Sweden. She also works as an oral session of English for the state certificates in Greece and other examination boards. She is a volunteer in Youth for Understanding. She's a member of Executive Board Global Metrics to Readers Theater. She is newly appointed ambassador of e-twinning. You will hear today what is e-twinning, what is e-twinning in Europe, what kind of platforms of education are united in Europe. So she is also interested in many other parts. Our great teacher, Gorgo Maneta, is also our IIU member from a long time. I want to invite our great teacher, Goga. Goga, the IIU stage is yours. Please enlighten us with your great speech.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I had some problems with my internet connection. Now I'm back. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I hope I can share my screen. Give me 1 second.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Can you see it?
Everyone can share the screen, so you don't need no one to ask me for the sharing.
Can you see my screen? Okay. So thank you, Nada, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. I would like to thank IIU and Inga and Nada for inviting me here today to talk about the vision of Europe for the education in the future. Let me tell you some things first about myself in a few words. So this is me. I'm Georgia. I come from Greece. I'm an EFL teacher in a state primary school. I'm an e-twinning ambassador, and I like to say this because e-twinning is a European platform which permits schools to collaborate virtually, schools from Europe and why not around the world, by special invitation of the e-twinners. And I'm also a Teacher for Europe member, an organization that promotes European Union ideals to students. Let me talk a bit about the European Union policy. What I will talk to you about today it can be found in the different websites from the European Commission. To tell you the truth, while I was reading through them and browsing through them, I could understand that there were so many plans made by the European Union member states and the Commission. And I'm trying to give you just a small idea of what is going on. The European Union promotes a collaboration among the European Union countries so as to make lifelong learning and mobility a reality. We don't stop learning as soon as we finish school and we get a university degree, or as soon as we start a job. We always learn. So as to improve the quality and efficiency of education and training, so as to promote equity, social cohesion, and active citizenship, and in order to enhance creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And these, I repeat, are not my own words. EU Member states are working around 5 axes for this implementation. They work towards the early childhood education and care, and here we have 2 smaller axes. The first one is the European Innovative Teaching Award, which is new, and it will be given to teachers in 2025. It's a new initiative, and it has to do with the teachers who will be able to implement the vision of the European Union for teaching, learning, lifelong learning, equity, etc. And also there is a program that has to do with fruit, vegetables, and milk at kindergarten and primary schools and secondary schools in order to help students to develop healthy eating habits. So this is the first axis. And then we have schools. European Union member states and the Commission work with all the members, students, teachers, school leaders, state school advisors, etc., in order to support national school educational systems and to make them, to improve themselves to the best they can. In order to achieve their goals, the European Union has different programs, starting with the e-twinning platform, as I have already mentioned, is a platform that allows collaboration, virtual collaboration between schools. And this is important because e-twinning in a way promotes digital literacy. And digital literacy is one of the goals, the main goals of the European Union. And we also have the Erasmus Mobilities. Erasmus is a program funded by the European Union, which allows students and teachers to move freely around countries in order to exchange views, in order to meet other people, other educators, and work together towards a common goal. The third axis is the vocational education and training. It dates back in 2002. And we have initial vocational education and continuing vocational education. This means that the students around the age of 16 are invited to watch the way people work in the field of their interest. And while they are working somewhere, they can also attend and to watch different professionals so as to develop their own skills. In terms of higher education, the European Union sees the universities as ways to strengthen the European dimension, and it empowers their role as change makers in the education, or in the green education and the digital education. I repeat that digital education and green educations are considered really important in the realms of the European Union. And last but not least, we have the adult education. I remind you that one of the goals and the mottos of the European Union is lifelong learning. So with adult education, the European Union is trying to give accessible and flexible opportunities to all the professionals. They are trying to include and give quality education to everybody. And they are also trying to help the professionals develop their skills throughout their personal and professional life. EU policy is designed to support national education systems and address common challenges. That is, the policy does not address only education problems, it also addresses common challenges faced by people in Europe and all over the world. So EU is addressing shared challenges. We have I wouldn't say problem, anyway, the question of the integration of immigrants and the refugees. And this is getting even more serious nowadays. We know the reason. We have to combat the early school leaving. We need to improve and boost the learning and mobility. Remember, I mentioned the Erasmus project beforehand. We need to improve traineeships and apprenticeships, and inclusion should be promoted at all costs. Also, EU is setting objectives and measuring progress around the schools and educational institutions. They monitor the progress, they develop education policy based on evidence, and this is important because it's not a matter of theory that, we're going to do this because maybe it will work well. They actually, not me, they are suggesting something, they see whether this works, so they move on by implementing it even to all the sectors of education. And we have the development of key competencies. And also the EU is working on international cooperations. They always seek partnerships with regions and other countries. And the European universities offer their educational programs around the world. And of course, the European Union is part of the ISCED, that is the International Standard Classification of Education. This means that since different countries and different continents organize their education system in different ways, this is a kind of classification that helps them all worldwide to see what works, what does not work, and what could be done better. So now I'm moving to the second and most important part. This is the dream actually of the European Union. It's the European education area. It's, let's say, an umbrella under which everything will be placed and everyone will be working under this sector. Who will be working? The EU member states, of course, the European Commission, the government officials appointed by each European member state, stakeholder organizations, and social partners. And what they will be working on? They will be working on improving quality and equity in education and training. They will be working on providing the best training possibilities, opportunities for teachers, trainers, and school leaders. They will be working on digital education. Already there are platforms which help teachers and schools and students to see where they stand according to the results of these tests. We have the selfie test, which is to show how safe and how digitally aware a school is. And we have the DigiComp, a tool that helps teachers see where they stand. They will also be working on green education. Let's not forget that there are still the 17 SDGs goals which are waiting to be fulfilled until 2030. And of course, they are working to bring the European education, I'm forgetting the name now, the European, I can't remember it now, in the world, the European education vision of the European Union to the world. So after what I have said, and I have shown to you that the European Union is paving the way towards a better digital education, towards sustainable learning and teaching, towards green education, towards providing opportunities for mobility to students, to trainees, to apprentices, to teachers, schools principals, etc. I think this goes without saying that the EU is leading the way to the future. I think it's these people are already there. So are we going to stay behind? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gogo. Thank you from Greece. Thank you for enlightening us for the education from Greece. Greece is a part of European Union. You hear from our teacher Gogo the all benefits of being a part of European Union, and you hear what kind of education and what is important for the education in Europe, and how Europe is growing and sharing the knowledge, and why the Europe is the first in the world on the scale of the education. Thank you. I want to say that also Europe is solidarity with Ukraine, and we are supporting all the people in Ukraine, and together all the international partners, including the additional political, financial, humanitarian support, and Europe has reached it very sweetly to that aggression. So for the people in all the world, we are with you. And our teacher Gogo mentioned our great platforms. We have e-twinning, the biggest platform for all the teachers, educators, and we have school education gateway. And we have a lot of mobilities Erasmus programs. And you know, International Internship University has the biggest biggest exchange program called BICUP. And you know, Erasmus Plus is in Europe, and in the part of the world is the BICUP. And our great vice chancellor is leading that project. You know, the BICUP starts in the autumn. There were many trainings, there were many conferences. Yesterday, I hope you were a part also of one international cultural transport. And that are all great programs of IIU. Also, our teacher Gogo mentioned the Green Deal. Europe is working on the Green Deal. We have many policies, we have many strategies, and all that policies and strategies are involved in European education. So we have our first things, and we learn what is going in Greece, but Greece is a part of European Union, and in other countries there are many similar things like in Greece. So thank you, Gogo. A big clap for our great Gogo.
Yes,
Thank
Thank
you
thank
very
you
you.
much.
so much. You are a great educator. Really, really, very informative and very important topic and presentation. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies.
Keep up the good work. I'm proud of you. Thanks.
Okay, now from beautiful Greece, we are going to Poland. We are going to Poland, and we will meet a teacher of English, a teacher, Paulina Kazmierczak-Majzinska. Teacher, great teacher in the high school from the Bydgoszcz, Poland. She has 25-year experience in the profession. From 2006, she has been a validation examiner for the national maturity exams in English and in English in Poland. She is a member of English Speaking Union Poland, the organization which promotes public speaking among students. She has cooperated with the Oxford University Press Publishing and Person Educational Poland. She has cooperated with international voluntary programs for teachers, the Global Quarantine Conversation, very actively promoting international online students exchange for students, a language consultant at the TV educational programs, Microsoft Innovative Educator, active partner, project founder in many e-twinning international programs, and a lot. She's ambassador of EELTA Poland, and we already had opportunity to meet her on the great conferences with EALTA in the cooperation with IIU. Professor Paulina Kazmirek, the IIU stage is yours, and welcome, and please enlighten us with your speech.
Thank you so much for this warm, insightful introduction. Let me say that I'm really honored to be sitting in this virtual, comfortable conference room among renowned speakers, the big names, the big internet names in the world of internet education. I'm really honored. So let me enjoy this moment by congratulating Gogo, IELTA Greece ambassador, for her speech. Thank you for having me today. Let me share the screen. Right. I hope you can see my screen. Can you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So as it has been already mentioned, I teach English in Trzecie Liceum Ogólnokształcące of Adam Mickiewicz in Bydgoszcz, in Poland. And I have been active in many international projects, webinars, and conferences. Also, I'm the head of Teachers Development Department, IELTA, an international association for English language teachers, and the ambassador of the same association in Poland. And similarly to Gogo, I have been an active e-twinner, and I must highlight the importance of standardized international projects. I must say that the topic we will be discussing in our meeting today, a new vision of a teacher, is a curious one for me, because our world has surprised us and left us speechless so many times recently. Let's take COVID, wars, political scandals. We have achieved so much, and yet we have learned so little, one may say, having watched everyday news or having read the front pages of new issues of newspapers. I will dare start my entry by saying that education has become one of the most challenging, demanding ones because of the rapidly changing world. Also highly responsible because it is teachers who inspire future doctors, lawyers, politicians, artists, so that they can say that they can and that they start believing their dreams. And yet, education as a field is one of the most underestimated ones because of the salaries of educational systems. To thrive, to be successful, I'm sorry, there is a issue with my slides. To thrive in this fast-changing technology mediated world, the students we teach must not only possess strong traditional skills in areas such as language arts, mathematics, science, but they also must adapt at critical thinking, problem solving, persistence, collaboration, and curiosity. The question is, can our educational systems meet that demand? Having been the teacher of English for 25 years, from my experience, I know that educational systems, unfortunately, are full of flaws. The way from the top, from the Ministry of Education, with its assumptions and desired standards, to the grassroots level of a particular classroom with its problems, is long. And sadly, I must say, having interviewed my colleagues, in many cases, the top never hears the bottom side needs. The changes in the world, in the labor market, in the style of living, the digitalization of our existence dictate the demand for the new skills that should be taught at schools. Global companies reported difficulties filling open positions in the job market already back in 2014, owing to shortages of people with those key skills. And teachers comprise the outstanding group of professionals who see this shift and look for solutions to bridge the gap resulting from the life change. Let us look at the key skills and the 21st century skills. Foundational literacies represent how learners apply, let's say, core skills to everyday tasks. These skills serve as the base upon which students need to build more advanced and equally important competencies to move forward, to character qualities. This category includes not only globally assessed skills of literacy, numeracy, but also scientific literacy, which has been mentioned, similarly to ICT literacy and financial literacy, also cultural and civic one. Acquisition of these skills has been the traditional focus of education around the world so far. Historically, being able to understand written text was sufficient to get a job at our parents' times. However, skills demonstrated by learners or workers entering the job market now in our times vary from country to country due to obvious reasons, such as development and status of a country, access to technology, and the access to free education, etc. Let's take Poland as an example. Poland performs well on a range of indicators representing foundational literacies, even while displaying some gaps in critical thinking on problem solving or curiosity. Similarly, Ireland, as another example, stands out in terms of foundational skills indicators relative to other Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development terms and condition countries, but still shows gaps in critical thinking and problem solving. Now, having faced numerous changes, for instance, climatic ones, the shift in the job market, pandemics, outbreaks, wars, these traditional skills represent only the starting point on the path towards mastering the 21st century skills. And we, dear fellow educators, are privileged to take learner by their hand and show them the right direction towards the 21st century skills, keeping in mind all the above mentioned shifts. I see an enormous need for lifelong learning, which has been mentioned by former speaker, Gogo Maneta from Greece, in our professional group, especially, not only among our learners, especially training, bridging and bringing us closer to mastering online tools. Being the head of IELTA Teachers Development Department, I would like to congratulate IIU for your restless effort to facilitate learning and exchange of experience among educators and experts for the benefits of the learners. I compiled my today's entry having read the new vision for education, unlocking the potential of technology, prepared in collaboration with the Boston Consulting Group. I relied on the website of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is an international organization that works to build better policies for better lives, and Digital Education Vision for European School Systems, the document which was approved by the Board of Governors at the meeting in Athens. I want to thank you for your attention. Looking forward to our future collaboration. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Teacher Paulina, for your great speech, for giving us a lot of new information, for giving first your great experience and your vision of education and all the benefits and all the failures, all advantages, challenges which we are focusing and which we have every day, and all that skills and all that knowledges which our students need to have and which we need to get them through their education, and how the European policies, strategies are supporting the educators and the educations with their actions, plans, and all. And thank you for being a member of a leader of EEILTA Poland, and for your great work with IIU, and for your big support, and for your great wishes. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you really very much. And beautiful woman from the most beautiful country. Thanks a lot. You are really professional. Thanks a lot.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes,
much
yes.
for your
Absolutely,
warm
and your speech. Yes, really.
Yes,
Congratulations.
yes, and our teacher Gogo and our teacher Paulina, they
Yeah.
are very known and teachers all around the world. Thank you in presenting their country always. Thank you very much. Now from the land of Poland, I'm going to Netherlands. We are going to Netherlands, and we have today on this great IIU Europe conference a big queen, I can say a queen strategist of Business Power Academy, Miss Veronica Sivan. Miss Veronica Sivan, she is a big leader, international leader, and she participates in numerous leadership international and mindset conferences. She's coaching teams of hundreds of people around the world. She admittedly created many projects with the eyes of other people is unimaginable. She is known as the queen strategist for very talented speeches and languages. Veronica is an international business coach and marketing strategist. I hope that you listen her before, because she is a woman. She's a woman with a beautiful heart and a mind, a woman with huge values and norms who takes responsibility to create a beautiful life, a single mom, and also a single mom who raised her daughter, her heroina. Dear Veronica, Sivan, enlighten us with your speech, and IIU stage is yours. Welcome. Please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's great now. Great.
Thank you so much for this beautiful and warm introduction, and thank you for having me here. It's a huge honor to be a part of this European online conference for education. My name is Veronica Seban. I live in the Netherlands. I'm an entrepreneur for almost 17 years. I would like to share with you all the screen and to show you what I'm doing exactly. I'm as well an entrepreneur for almost 17 years, but a motivational global speaker, author. I have written different books. I am as well an expert in human mind and behavior. So I want to mention that I'm passionate about communication, human and mind behavior. Today, I want to introduce to you my company, Smart Education digital platform, not only for entrepreneurs, but also for coaches, because my targeting audience are coaches. As I mentioned previously to dear Inga Karchlava, who has invited me to be a part of this European digital conference. Thank you for that. And so we provide personal development techniques to build a healthy mindset for entrepreneurs and for coaches around the world. We provide 3 types of coaching methodologies, which are individual, one-on-one, digital, this is individually, so that the coaches and the entrepreneurs can study individually on our platform and in groups. So let me move forward. I have created as well different projects around the world, and I have participated to a very huge project in a franchise ship in the Netherlands. I collaborated with different online magazines where I have showed my revolutionary approach of education and transformation of the mindset of the coaches and entrepreneurs around the world. In my opinion, it's very, very intelligent to introduce the personal development. So in the scholar system education globally, because at school, so the scholar system doesn't teach in general, so the children how to discover themselves, which is the basis of the self-knowledge, self-awareness, and the personal behavior which contributes enormously to the revolutionary development, so of the creative thinking in generally for the children. And in the Netherlands, so we are very fortunate because we have the personal development introduced in the educational system at universities, which has many benefits. I want also to mention that Netherlands is one of the most advanced educational countries in the Europe. If you will having a conversation with a child of 10 years, it's very impressive because we have a very high development skills, but not only that, the communication skills so are very impressive. A child of 10 years so has the development level like in comparison with another countries of 25 years. This is only to give you an orientation in the personal development and the communication in the Netherlands. I have had different seminars, not only in the Netherlands, but around the globe. And I know that there are different opinions, which is absolutely awesome. It's okay. And I would love to know as well the opinions of different countries where there is a different educational system. Here in the Netherlands, so we have not only the creative thinking and personal development, but also the there is introduced as well the open-mindedness expressing of the children in generally, which is allowing them to be very advanced in their way of thinking, in their vision, and in the forming of their personality. What I admire so about the educational system in the Netherlands, and which in my opinion is very revolutionary, and it should be also integrated so in another countries, is the flexibility of the communication and the interactivity between the teachers and the children. And it's very impressive because when I started to study in the Netherlands, communication science and business development, to me it was a huge challenge. So seeing this revolutionary approach of education, expressing so freely your opinion, because I'm born in Republic of Moldova and I grew up during the Soviet Union system, which the expressing your personal opinion not was always allowed. And comparing to the Netherlands, so it was really impressive, which has contributed to my mindset transformation, but as well to my vision. And it has helped me as well to create revolutionary education for another people around the world, for entrepreneurs, but as well for coaches. And I created as well a special master class and combined with a book which I called Master Your Life. And in this book, the people can transform completely their life in all areas that they want to transform. For example, the personal development can be very, very useful if you want to create beautiful relationships, not only in your personal life, but also creating so a huge network around the world, knowing how to interact with the people, how to select out so the right relationships based so on your interests and on in the field that you are operating as an expert. So in this book as well, there are many fields where I have described very detailed every single step how to transform as well your inner power and how to discover yourself, how to discover your hidden talents, how to perform your leadership skills, and how to manage your feelings, how to manage your thoughts, and how to express your emotions, because expressing the emotions is the most complicated what I have experienced from the part of my coaches and my students, because when they are sharing their opinion about expressing their emotions, they are creating like such of protection around them, which is holding them back to expressing their true emotions. And so this book is a transformational guidance, so on all the personal development levels for every single human being on the globe. And that's why so I'm convinced that this book and this type of education could be very transformative also in universities and in schools for children, even so in the basic schools. Knowing so how does function the imagination, the mind, I think it will contribute to the development, to the advanced development and transformation of the children in generally, which will help us to create a more conscious society. For now, I want to thank you for your attention. And thank you for having me here. And this was my speech for today.
Thank you. Thank you, great Veronica. Thank you for your speech. I want to say one thing. You are a business strategist and also a leader in the communication. Coming from Europe and from your experience, please, the communication. We know that communication is very important in every job, and especially, like I said, today in education and the verbal, non-verbal skills. So, what do you have any solutions for our students who don't have good communication skills? What would be your advice?
It depends so in what direction do they want to choose, because it's very important to develop the communication skills. So in the field that a person is choosing, communication it's very, very large, and developing so the communication skills, it's as well a question of knowing yourself, be aware of yourself. And I think that's exactly what is missing so in the global education in general, because if we will introduce the self-awareness, personal development, we have 6 personal development, and if we are gonna integrate the 6 personal development, which is called the communication model in the NLP techniques, it's now so your intelligence level, the level of thinking, knowing to communicate through our body, through our senses, gesticulations, knowing how to transmit as well so our emotions, knowing how to express our real thoughts, because most of the time there are children, and because they are not aware of their emotions, or because of trauma, or because they have had a bad experience, this is not allowing them to express what they truly think. So these are the most common problems in the childhood of the children in general around the globe. So the emotions are one of the most factor that we should educate so in the schools and universities, because if we are gonna educate the children how to express their emotion, then they will create the ability to communicate in a very flexible way.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. Because today, Europe and all around the world, we have many crises in different values, and you talk about communication. And first, I think that a big barrier is communication in all the levels, in all the fields. Here I see the emotional intelligence, and I can say that in Europe we have a lot of strategies, a lot of plans for the inclusive education. And you mentioned early childhood here. Also, IIU has developed all the councils, and we have the council for the early childhood, and many experts, many specialists who are working on these problems, because I think these things are the biggest problems which we are meeting in our education. Thank you, dear Veronica, today for your speech on this great conference on IIU stage. I'm looking forward to hear you very soon, because IIU is offering every day 1 or 2 training sessions, and you are very soon our resource person in one of the coming training sessions.
Thank you so much again for this invitation. I really appreciate, and I'm very glad to be part of this European online seminar.
Thank you very much, dear. You are great. Yes, thank you. Your amazing speech and very important presentation. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I want to mention something. So I observed so that every single member who is participating today has prepared presentation. And the reason that I haven't prepared a presentation is because all the trainings, this is my personal website. So I have created all this content, and like I now will ever think I don't need a presentation. I have all the knowledge, and all the time when I'm online, like I'm providing the coaching programs or the digital courses, but I never need a presentation, which I think it's amazing. Now everything without a presentation.
Yes, okay, it is okay, but you know, sometimes why the teachers use presentation, because it is it is a little, I can say, it is only for putting the main things, and for something to which you will about you will talk, which you will argue. I'm not for the presentations which have a lot of text, but if you have a small, like our Gogo, our Pauline, they had great presentation because they were not having a lot of text, and they were not reading their things. That is only for them one kind of the reminder. So that is good. That is good in the presentations, and everyone has a practice. You know, somebody likes to talk without presentation, but you know how educators say in Europe and all around. The presentation, when you have a watcher, someone who is watching or listening you, if you have a presentation, it really needs to don't and they don't need to have a lot of text, because the text is using your attention. You will read the text and then you will not listen the speaker. So a presentation with few words, with a graph, with a photo, with something that will not use your attention, and you will always then listen your speaker. Am I right, our strategist?
Yes, you are right. But I will, like I mentioned it, I have already so presented everything on this page, as you can see, which is beautiful in my opinion, and which I created personally. But I think that a presentation is more to present your topic to other people. It's thereabout.
Yes.
But I want to thank you for your feedback in any case.
Thank you very much, dear Veronica. Thank you for your great speech, for this great debate, and for our watchers and listeners are really very excited, and they are very happy to be here, a part of this great conference. From Netherlands, now I'm moving to Spain. I'm moving to Spain to our professor. Now is coming a one STEM professor, STEM in Europe. We are in STEM, women in STEM, entrepreneurs in STEM, and now we have a great professor of mathematics, physics, chemistry from a secondary education. He is working last 23 years. He is a creator and manager on the web of the beers on the name. We can put it in the chat and also we can put it on the Facebook page of the web racers with the license Creative Commons. Author of different articles about education and digital tools, international lecturer, and active methodologies such as flipped classroom, an approach that he have implemented in his classroom from 2014 year. Welcome, Professor Juan on the IIU stage.
Welcome. Nice to meet you. And thank you very much for the invitation to the International Interseat University and Dr. Inga Karchilava. Thank you very much for giving me this space to share my experience. I'm sorry for my English is very bad. Um,
The language is never the problem. When you speak more, you will be a better presenter. But you know, we can understand you and don't worry. Practice, it is only important. A
I
practice.
hope,
Yes.
I hope. My presentation. My experience is split classroom in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Um, one moment, please. Flipped classroom, flipped learning, inverted learning is a pedagogical model that transfers the work of certain learning process outside the classroom and use the class time together with a teacher's experience to facilitate and enhance other knowledge acquisition and practice process from the classroom. Change of the teacher role. The teacher role now he doesn't teach a master class. Now he accompanies the student. He is the support and guide. Before class, flip model. The student assesses the learning content through indirect means. The teacher sends the student a video, an infographic, and presentation, etc. You can make a first assessment of learning through a questionnaire and enriched video, etc. The student had to know what they are going to receive and what it is going to serve them. You need to know how you are going to learn it. Before class, the content must be brief. Then leave basic questions of the content. We are talking about the early stage of Bloom's taxonomy. Remember, understand, and apply. Students we also made an initial assessment of learning. Although this can be done in the classroom, the teacher receives a feedback of the acquired learning. My tools. Record video with screen on my teach. I just use a screencast only, but you can use camera and screencast or screencast only. After edit videos with Filmora. When have the edited videos and upload it to YouTube. If the video is very long, I add a chapter and I have the 400 videos on YouTube in my channel. Other tools, important tools, is a puzzle. Puzzle is great tool for teachers because we can insert questions and comments into the video. We also receive information about viewing time and other date. Great feedback. The date in the tool. I think that students not only have to watch video, it's important that they read. I said the presentation with them on slide share and 80 presentations in slide share. All Creative Commons license. Perusal is an interesting tool to raise questions which can be resolved by the teacher or between students. Google Forms. In Google Forms, I insert a video as a sample and ask them to solve similar exercise. The example, the video, the exercise. My daughter. Before class. During the class, the students know the context of learning, so they actively participate in the classroom. They raise doubts or apply the knowledge acquired of it. We're talking about the state of Bloom taxonomy, analyze, evaluate, and create. The students can work and collaborate in a group. Peer-to-peer learning appears since they are helped to, to the different in the way they acquire the contents. The teacher Chan role. Now he doesn't teach a master class. Now he accompanies the student. He is the support and guide. Is propose and guide the work in the classroom or in the elaborate of project that consolidate learning. You can customize activities for your students and evaluate continuously. The tools. Socrates is a fantastic tool to get feedback when students arrive in the classroom. It's very easy to design the questionnaire and the teacher receives a PDF questionnaire, PDF answer. Worksheets are very important in math, physics, and chemistry. Performing the exercise on paper is essential. Pencil, calculator, and paper. But I can create interactive worksheet with live worksheet for my students. Quizlet is a fantastic tool for students to learn by playing and competing. Flickers allow the students to work cooperatively with a role each. QR code to answer. GeoGebra is fantastic tool. More important to math. After class, the students can go into the content sent by the teacher to solve the doubt. The reading of the material that the teacher has provided to the students will serve as support. Infographics. I have created infographics with Geniali when I insert video, games, interactive worksheets, etc. that I share with my students. Example, videos, skate games, and interactive worksheets. Other tools is skate games. Creating skate games with Geniali is very easy. I have several skate games of different themes. My tools and Simbaloo. Uh, with Simbaloo, I share share my tools with our other teachers. My web. Uh, in my web, I have the different section of physics and chemical and mathematics and art too. I work with Google Classroom, Google Workspace. Insert in Google Classroom the Google Forms, the infographics, the skate games, the worksheet, and interactive worksheet. I think that the mobile is a great tool in the classroom, but we must teach how to use it. Virtual classroom, because the path cannot be walking alone. In this webinar, we say no leg between teachers is more important. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm sorry for my English.
Oh, no, no, sorry, never say sorry because you make us and show us an amazing presentation with great digital tools because situation with COVID make all teachers around the world to be and to grow their digital literacy and their experience. And I want to say to you, respected STEM professor Juan, incredible presentation. First, I want to comment this. I like that you use Genially for makeup presentation. Then after that, what you put and show us, all you are using in the virtual classroom, quizzes, Socrative, live worksheets. All these amazing digital tools are very necessary for us, and always not only for the online courses or online teaching, for our everyday job, for the evaluation. And then you show us the infographics. Infographics, I adore infographics, and not only genially picked a chart in many digital tools to make infographics. Why? Because only one single page can help you and show you more than 50 pages of the text, because you can put your video, you can put your lesson, you can put your evaluation, you can put everything in an infographic. And you show us that Europe is today on the highest level. Europe is investing a lot in high-end technology. And all the teachers, as I said before, are using a lot the digital tools, even they are not in the STEM. Why? I can say in my country, Croatia, all primary teachers today are experts in the in using digital tools, because every day they try to find the best digital tool for their task. And you show us GeoGebra. GeoGebra is excellent for math and also for statistics. And when I was
Nie, nie
trying to
widać
find
mnie.
the best whiteboard, GeoGebra
Ale zostaw
first
dzieciom,
solution
że dzieci
for
też
me
jadły.
was,
Przecież są w lodówce.
please mute
No
yourself.
nie, no.
Okay, GeoGebra is an excellent with great whiteboard and all this Google Classrooms, Google Forms, and everything you show us. Thank you very much. My conclusion for your presentation is, again, in Europe, many is investing in high-end technology, in the digital education, in the STEM. Lot of investing in STEM, and you, like a professor of math, of biology, of chemistry, show us today why it is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
With
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you, Professor
Um,
Joan
um,
from Spain. No,
Yeah.
no, sorry, because you have very wonderful presentation.
yes.
You
Thank
are
you.
very,
Thank you
very
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you
Thank you very
so
much.
much. I'm so proud of you.
And
Thanks.
I will say again, I can't wait to see you for another time and for listen you. Please, do make a training session with IIU. Please apply to be a resource person with us, because you have what to show. Even you don't need to talk, you can only show, and everything is very clear from your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, we are going now. We were in Greece. We were in Poland. We were in Netherlands. We were now in Spain, and now coming back, you need to go through my country to come to Georgia. You need to go through Croatia, and now we are in Georgia with our great English teacher, our dear Lika. Our dear Lika is a teacher of English and Georgian. She's a translator, and she has an international language center, and she is working in the center like an educator. 26 wonderful years she have, and she said that she can't imagine her life without doing that. So she likes everything about her job. She loves the curriculum, she loves the content, she loves to meet international students, and she is very active also with the IIU's exchanges. She makes many programs here with her students. She is very passionate in creating lessons and getting them excited about learning. She believes that learning school need to be full of engaging activities and entertaining content. And that is why she is very inspirative and very motivated teacher. And uh, like in Poland, she is a manager of many studies, many agencies. She is also she has international English exam from the IELTS program. She participated many European programs, projects like Erasmus Plus for exchanging in the many workshops, and she participated like a cultural ambassador where teachers were from many countries all around the world. Dear Lika, please enlighten us with your speech, and we can't wait to hear you. Welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends. I want to thank you for this great presentation about me, introduction about me. I'm listening, but I don't believe that everything you told about myself. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be honored a speaker in IIU University for this conference, I think, and it's my own idea that this topic is for me because I have a lot of experience and I love to plan new things for future for my children also. I am a teacher of students all of the world's countries, but I love my children and I invite little students too, because I love a relationship with my students too. Today I'm ready for this great conference, but after some presenters, I prefer to speak about my future plans and my opinions about this revolution in education, and I will speak about everything. Learning at first will be more active and more interesting in real life, and for children, members of the younger generation should be learned to grow up, and society would be aware of what takes place around them. For that, becoming responsible and more independent global citizens in our society. Learning become more active and constructive with the emphasis of learning by doing and on locational and authentic learning. Learning will take place in social interaction with the other learners, teachers, and third parties. It will be connected to real life, nature, work, and life in local and global community. In future, new technologies will be an useful part of learning in life. Technologies are changing and enabling new ways of accessing, understanding, and creating knowledge, and will be a natural part of learners' lives in the future. Teachers need to continuously update their knowledge of students, and we have a lot of challenges nowadays after pandemic period. Their knowledge of students' learning needs to develop their teaching methods through networking, observing, and peer learning from other teachers. Teachers' learning can be effectively supported through local and online communities where practices are shared and developed together, such as, for example, European project eTwinning. Challenges for the future education and training in Europe, the main message coming from the conference sessions about future and of learning, including a final plenary discussion, highlights the following overall challenges for the future of education training in Europe. Education needs to change to respond to the needs of the economy and society. Learning objectives need to change to take into account future competence needs. It's already recognized that learning is changing and a lot of valuable learning take place outside school, which must be recognized in the formal education system. In order to change education, assessment pictures or practices also need to change our way in education and training systems too. The answers gathered can be grouped under three main clusters, which including several types of topics as illustrated in this map. The major types of challenges expected are more active ways of learning. Learning will become more active, focusing on learning by doing, experiencing, and touching, as well as it will be become more social and collaborative, with each learner constructed their knowledge in interaction with others in the context of practical application and tasks. Student-centered learning approaches where each learner's individual needs and progress are taken into account will come to the fore. The traditional roles of teachers and students will change to support this development, and teachers will become moderators and guides for students, personalized and collaborative knowledge creation. Revised learning is also objectives. More active and constructive ways of learning will arise from a shift in the balance between knowledge and skills and the emergence of new competence in a world that is characterized by information overload. Knowing how will become more important, and knowing what, moreover, values like respect, tolerance, responsibility, and cultural awareness and diversity will become important learning activities. New learning setting and context, changing learning objectives and ways for reaching them will be accompanied by emergence of new learning setting and their connection to various contexts. Learning will be supported by flexible and dynamic virtual environments and by a range of tools and applications to facilitate individual and collaborative learning process inside school, outside school, and with connection to various contexts. Physical or virtual boundaries will become absolute. From preschool onwards, learning will take place in versatile environments that are smoothly integrated into life. Learning environments will be motivating, social, and connected to nature, to the local community, and global society. In particular, learning will become more holistic, embedded in social context and the local community. Parents will be respected as parties in the learning process too. Thank you so much for your attention. this is my ideas about future learning and future evolution, and we are doing so well organized. We are doing a lot, and teachers are the light of future to spread their students. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Lika. Thank you for giving your vision and your things about the future of the education in Europe. And yes, Europe is ready to share the knowledge and revolutionize here with the great IIU, with great international internship university. Thank you, our new head of IIU Europe, for making this great opportunities for the all Europeans and all educators around the world. I want to thank to all our watchers and listeners on the social medias on Facebook that they are with us and listening you, supporting you, learning and sharing their views and their knowledges about this amazing topic. Now, thank you, Lika, very much.
Yes, thank you, Lika. Thank you so much. I am proud of you, and also George, I'm proud of you. I am very
Thank you so much.
great job. All speaker is great. Congratulations.
Yes, yes, all our great eminent speakers from around Europe are amazing. Thank you all for being with us and for sharing your great thoughts and being with us here today. And I'm very happy, and I can say that this is the first IU Europe conference, but very soon we are coming with a new conference with new European countries, because today on this great platform we have 10 speakers from 10 countries, and the next time we will have new countries and new speakers. So be with us every day in every IIU session. Now from Georgia, we are going to Italy. If you don't hear from Italy, a first association for Italy is on the map. Italy looks like a woman boot. So if you like woman boots and if you want to try Italy, find a boot, and that is Italy. Italy is a beautiful country. She is supported with the sea from each of her part. And from Italy, we have a great representative of education. That is Miss Melissa Esposito, and she is teaching math in high school in San Giorgio, Naples, Italy for 27 years. She has a big and great experience. She's interested in different and various projects, including e-twinning projects, also between different European schools. She is a Nearpod certified educator, verified educator on Kahoot Academy, and Ed Puzzle coach and weekly community leader. She works a lot with coding and gamification, and she is also very special for SDGs of the 2030, and she supports the education, the goal for, so she wants and always is repeating that we need to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. She is a guest on a speaker on many conferences. She's again educational leader on the GAN network. Her playful approaches in the discipline are accompanied by a passion for teaching. She has a big passion for teaching, and she is always modus operandi, because she thinks that play is a very serious thing. Like Paul Richter Johann, German writer, said, and pedagogists say, the lower pupil affective filters are eliminating their prejudices. Dear Melissa, welcome to the IIU Year Conference, and please enlighten us with your speech.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon to all of you. I thank you for the great opportunity you are giving me today in participating in this important conference and this important group of European teachers. I want to share my screen, can I?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm ready. This is my presentation from the beginning, and I begin. I want to speak to you about generally a new vision for European teachers in education. The world of education is evolving rapidly, and in the last 2 years it has been called upon to face major innovations and challenges which have also affected the skills required, the well-being of the teaching staff, and the general activeness of the profession. In a context of constant social, demographic, cultural, economic, scientific, environmental, and technological changes, the world of education and training is evolving as the profession of teachers and trainers who are increasingly called to satisfy requests and expectations to assume responsibilities. Council conclusions of European teachers and trainers of the future in 2020, the key role in contrasting the educational crisis, the key role millions of teachers across Europe have to face sudden changes, closures, new teaching educational needs, new ways of teaching and communicating, new responsibilities, but they have remained at the forefront to ensure learning. A scenario in which their key role in contrasting the crisis in the education sector generated by the global health emergency had become even more evident, promptly recognized by the Council of the European Union. The teachers and trainers are given considerable evidence of commitment, creativity, and collaboration between peers, and have made a considerable efforts to ensure the continuity of both of the learning and the progress of the learners, also contributing to their well-being. The enhancement of the profession in Italy and Europe, national and European policymakers are reflecting on how to enhance the figure of teachers, improve their condition, tools, careers, prospects, and motivation. The motivation to undertake the professionalizing path for teaching appeared to be in sharp decline throughout Europe in the whole cycles of education, a phenomenon that is dramatically associated with an increasing aging of the teaching staff. The solution of Europe. The European Union therefore invited the member states, while respecting institutional autonomy, to invest in measures related to improvement of initial training and continuing professional training, working conditions and career prospects for teachers and trainers, as well as measures aimed at further strengthening their resilience and well-being in order to support them in coping with the more stressful aspects of their work. Several countries have increased the wages, and measures have been taken to facilitate access to the profession. The figure of the teacher by 2030, but how will the figure of teachers change in the near future, and what will be the areas of intervention on which policymakers are focusing their attention? The resolution of the Council of the European Union has laid the programmatic foundations that the various countries will have to implement, and on which they will have to design the new figure of the teacher by 2030. 5 strategic priorities are identified. First, improve quality, equity, inclusion, and success for all in education and training. Second, ensure that lifelong learning and mobility become a reality for everyone. Third, strengthen skills and motivation in professions in the education sector. Fourth, strengthening European higher education. Fifth, supporting green and digital transitions in education and training and throughout education and training. On the basis of the strategic guidelines, identify the 12 questions and concrete actions were outlined for the figure of teachers and trainers. Among these, the enhancement of recruitment and selection, the improvement of their activeness and attractiveness and prestige of the profession, support for initial training and continuing professional training, the reduction of gender imbalances, ensuring that teacher education and training programs prepare them for their key role of providing the skills to live, work, contribute to sustainable development and enhance learners' mental health and well-being. Because as Einstein argued a few decades ago, that of the teacher is a supreme art capable of awakening the joy of creativity and knowledge. The world is characterized by rapid change, increasing globalization, and greater complexity in terms of economic and social-cultural relations. The new economic structures in societies are increasingly based on information and knowledge. Computers are now widely available everywhere, and this relative familiarity with the information and communication technology, ICT, constitutes a framework in which the future of education and training must be planned. The citizens of Europe enjoy one of the highest levels of education and one of the best education and training systems in the world. However, Europe should have a program to remain globally competitive, also in the use of the new ICTs. Changes in the area of working life, about of nature of work and the skills required the workers and the managers are changing. An example of this evolution is given by products that require specialized knowledge. A growing proportion of the workforce in the service sector, changes in the organization of work that require new skills and the role of companies in training, common goals, discussions on possible solutions, and the change of good practices will be important tools to tackle these challenges together. Equal opportunities and social exclusion. Education and training are the structural means throughout which society can help its citizens have equal access to prosperity, democratic decision-making, and personal social-cultural development. Access to lifelong skills updating therefore becomes a key element in the fight against social exclusion and in the promotion of equal opportunities in the both scenes of the term. 5 minutes. It fits in this context. Wait a moment. Potete aspettare 5 minuti, no? 5 minuti. 5. 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. To achieve these objectives, the action plan defines 2 priority areas: promote the development of a high efficient digital education ecosystem. This sector includes the following aspects: infrastructure, connectivity and digital equipment, effective plans and development of digital capabilities, including up-to-date organizational skills and digital literacy, including the fight against disinformation. And high quality learning content, easy to use tools and secure platforms that respect e-privacy rules and ethical standards, improve digital skills and abilities for digital transformations. This requires basic digital skills and competencies from childhood, digital literacy, including the fight against disinformation, computer science teaching, good knowledge and understanding of data-intensive technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI. Why is action needed? The digital transformation has transformed the society and the economy with even deeper repercussions on daily life. However, until the COVID-19 pandemic, its impact on educational and training remained much more limited. The pandemic has shown that it is essential to have an education and training system suitable for the digital age. The pandemic has raised the need for higher levels of digital skills in education and training, but it has also amplified a number of challenges and inequalities that exist between those with access to digital technologies. A 2018 Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development study found that fewer than 40% of educators feel ready to use digital technologies in teaching, with wide differences across the EU. More than a third of the 13 and 14 years old who participated in the International Study on Computers and Information Literacy in 2018 did not have the most basic level of competence in digital skills. A quarter of low-income households lack computers and access to broadband, with large differences within the European Union as a function of household income. The pandemic has accelerated the current trend of online and hybrid learning. Thanks to these transformations, teachers and students have discovered innovative methods of teaching and studying online, and the possibility of interacting in a more personal and flexible way. Political context, the need for a new action plan to be developed, building on the first action plan for digital education was expressed in the political guidelines of the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in July 2019. The renewed action plan for digital education contributes to the Commission's priority and Europe ready for the digital age and the next generation EU initiative. Open public consultation from July to September 2020, the Commission carried out an open public consultation to gather the views and the experiences of citizens, institutions, and organizations from the public and private sector on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on education and training, its transition distance, and online learning on their vision for the future of digital education in Europe. The public consultations revealed that nearly 60% respondents have not used the distance and online learning before the crisis. 95% believe that the crisis caused by the pandemic represents a tipping point for the way technology is used in education and training. Over 60% believe that they have improved their digital skills during the crisis, and over 50% want to improve them further. There are actions of the digital education plan proposes the following lot of actions for the period from 2025 to 2027. First priority, promote the development of a highly efficient digital educational ecosystem. And the second priority is enhance digital skills and abilities for digital transformations. And I want to tell you about one of my professional experiences. It enriches and motivates me as a teacher. I participate with each of my class in a training projects. In this way, I adapt to the challenges I am facing as a math teacher in these difficult times. Working with the training projects represents an opportunity for educational innovation and professional growth for teachers of any subject and school level. The tool made available by the platform offers a series of opportunities in addition to following the sharing of innovative teaching methods and teamwork with other teachers, and facilitating the introduction of technologies and digital languages in activities with the class. They motivated students to work with European partners and guarantee teachers continuous professional development. Training helps me achieve educational goals with the pupils, and they develop their math and digital skills. Twinning projects have kept my pupils motivated, especially during the online teaching period, and I have continued to use it now that we are back to almost normal. At the moment, twinning is my main tool to stay in touch with my colleagues at local, national, and European levels. I am constantly working to incorporate the twinning platforms into my pedagogical practices. Keeping our students motivated is the biggest challenge. Many face many difficulties. Therefore, the most important thing is to support them, motivate them, encourage them to think positively. An important factor in keeping my students motivated was to focus more on networking and to move away from other social media platforms. This is essential to help them maintain good habits in their new learning environment. Each week, I send my students information to do on work to be done and encourage them to complete it using the platforms. And with this last thought, my speech is ended, and I thank you all for listening to me, and excuse me for some technical problems I am having here.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Melissa. Thank you for your great speech. Thank you for showing the vision and how to revolutionize the education in Europe. You show us that you are very motivated also with working in e-twinning. Me too. All European educators are like working in e-twinnings, as you said. That is our connection on the national level and on the European level. So many friends and so many great educators we are meeting and doing with them great projects. And I can say that almost that e-twinning projects became Erasmus Plus projects. And that is great for the teachers, for the exchange programs for our students, on which IIU is working consistently on the exchange programs for the students. And now the first exchange, biggest exchange from the BICUP will be India. And after India, we will go and move further to Europe. And the students from our countries will join this also big interactive exchange programs. And IIU is really a revolution. Every step, every moving is something new, a new innovation, a new invention. Every day our founder is working 24 hours, and all the great IIU team is very dedicated to work and to make this international internship university the first international university in the world. And so these are our big steps to move. We really need to motivate it. We really need to inspire our colleagues in Europe to join us in IIU, to work with us, because we have great projects, we have great works, and this is the way, and this is what education really need. And then we can talk about the global education. Now, after Italy, I need to say again, now my country, Croatia, is in the middle. You go Italy, Croatia, and now come to North Macedonia. North Macedonia, we have a great academician, a great person today with us. He's from Skopje, from Macedonia, academician, educator, lecturer, inventor, speaker, science, researcher, social worker, author, phytotherapist, phytonutritionist, agroecologist, natural health coach, and I can talk a lot about our doctor of the scientist, Dr. Dragan Jovanov.
No,
Please,
but
please remember each of you, Jovanov. There is not in our language G, not
the,
Jovanov, Jovanov. So welcome, Dr. Dragan.
Zdravo, Nada. Thank you. I'm honored and pleasure to be part of the World Conference today. My name Dragan or Dragon ili Jovanov. My topic today, authentic ways to development performance-based activities. Performance-based learning is when students practices in task of activities that are meaningful and judging. The purpose of this type of learning is help students acquire and aptly apply knowledge, practices, skills, and development independent and collaborative work habits. A culminating activity or performance-based learning product is the one that allows the student to demonstrate evidence of understanding through skills transfer. The form of learning is measured by performance-based assessment, which open and without a single correct answer. Performance-based assessment should be something that demonstrates authentic learning, such as creating a newspaper or class debate. The benefit of these types of performance-based assessment is that when students are more actively involved in the learning process, they will absorb and understanding the material on a much deeper level. Other characteristic of performance-based learnings are complex and time bound. In addition, there are and define what is proficient in meeting that standard. Performance-based activity can integrate two or more identities and shall also meet the 21st century experiences whenever possible, creativity and innovation, communication and cooperation. There are both information literacy standard and media literacy standard there that embedded in performance-based learning. Performance-based learning activities can be quite challenging for students to complete. They need to understand from the beginning exactly what is required of them and how they will be evaluated. Simplest and models can help, but is the more important to provide detailed criteria that will be used to evaluate performance-based assessment. Those criteria should be incorporated in the box above. Observation and are an important part of evaluation performance-based assessment. Observation can be used to give students feedback on improving performance. Teachers and students can use the observation. There may be students feedback from peers. There may be a checklist or a table for recording performance. Students can use their experience in performance-based learning to use at later points in their educational, personal, professional life. The goal of performance-based learning should be to gauge what students have learned, not just to real fact. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nada. Thank you, Inga. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
organization, university. My pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Dragan Jovanov, for your great speech. Now we will go and show one video. First, I will get out from the Facebook because I need to share it. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, IIU. Hello, dear members and participants. I am Irina Dipa, master teacher and trainer from Albania. As a teachers, we are always willing to learn and to share experiences with others. The landscape of education is in a constant state of transformation. As the world continuously evolves, it is a professional, moral, and ethical obligation for educators to revisit and rethink approaches to teaching and learning. We are living in a global society where the needs of learners are constantly changing. Since learning is an ongoing process, instructional practices must be refined and questioned over the course of time. When we collaboratively develop a clear vision and focus on our purpose, the journey leads to flexible paths of promise that embrace innovative and creative approaches to instructions. According to Simon Sinek, author of the New York Times bestseller, Start with Why, when we are given a clear destination, we use our own creativity and our sense of innovation and our own problem-solving abilities to overcome obstacles to get to the destination. After everything we've been through since the pandemic began, now might be a good time to look at what really matters in an effort to gain clarity. Clarity is to rethink for next year. Connection before content. We know that connecting with our learners is a priority. Yet, as we reflect on the pandemic, many would agree that establishing relationship and building community has been a major part of the challenge. These are extreme circumstances, and the constraints have been overwhelming. So, how do we move forward? Below are some considerations and strategies. Could we co-create shared expectations? This empowers learners and develop buy-in. We can also revisit regularly to ensure that everyone's needs are being met. How can we focus on individual connections and be intentional with teacher presence to establish respect and rapport? Impactful practices include sharing about yourself, having unconditional positive regard, and having frequent high-quality communication and feedback. How can we foster peer-to-peer connections? Discussion, board, and another collaborative space, online and offline, allow students to co-construct meaning. We can also give structures and opportunities for peer feedback. How can we embed social and emotional learning practices? Using welcoming rituals, engaging strategies, and optimistic pleasures are the three signature practices that don't take a lot of time and can have a big impact. Acceleration, not remediation. Less is more. And when we say less, we don't mean less rigor. The reality is that this major disruption is our opportunity to rethink structures and redefine roles. We can prioritize standards, stay focused on critical content, and cultivate expert learners. Consider ways to rethink empowering students to learn, unlearn, and relearn. What mindset frameworks and practices remove barriers and allow us to meet the needs of all learners? For example, universal design for learning and blended learning are all about optimizing teaching and learning through design considerations. We can leverage both to create meaningful and challenging learning opportunities. How can we flip the script on questioning? Often, teachers are the ones asking all the questions. Using a protocol like the question formulation technique, we can empower learners to develop high-quality question and think critical. Could we design for inquiry with voice and choice? Using an approach like discover, discuss, demonstrate, gives learners opportunities to explore content before direct instruction and provides opportunities for learners to construct meaning through communication and collaboration with their peers. Rethinking success criteria. We can no longer preserve all the traditional assessment system from the past. We have an opportunity to create equitable success criteria that values every learner who walks through the door. It's time to rethink the one-size-fits-all approaches to curricula and assessment by viewing the learners holistically. How can we find innovative ways to make the curriculum accessible to all our students? This reflection can propel learners to take ownership of their progress while maximizing their intellectual, social, and emotional growth. Here are some ideas to consider when rethinking success criteria. Would you grant our success criteria in the 5 star competencies developed by the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning? Schools can build better learning environments where students have opportunities to thrive in human ways. Assessment can be more inclusive when keeping learners' social and emotional well-being at the heart of decision making. How can we cultivate meaningful relationships to support learning? We should explore our own personal basis and act as mirrors of kindness and empathy. Classrooms that keep relationships at the core would create conditions that endanger a deeper curiosity for learning and unleash the expertise that exists within every student and teacher. How can involve students in co-creating goals and use status-aligned rubrics to co-construct clear success criteria? Assessment is not stagnant. It is an ongoing, visible process that teachers and learners must collaboratively and continuously engage in. We can provide multiple pathways to understand by collecting evidence, reflecting on levels of proficiency, and communicating what success can look like for every learner. Now is the time to work with all stakeholders to co-create a new vision for teaching and learning. Now in our destination, we can move forward to revisit and rethink our priorities to craft our path. Thank you for your attention. Greetings from my little country, Albania, and sorry for not being there today. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was our Irina Biba from Albania. She couldn't join us. She has a merger. So Irena, thank you. And our Irena is a master trainer and trainer from Albania. She has a great experience in education, 25 years in the secondary schools, high schools, and 3 years as a principal of the University of Tirana. And she is a Microsoft Educative Innovative Expert, Wakelet Ambassador, Scientific Ambassador, European Schoolnet Academy Ambassador, e-Twinning Coordinator, Europe Erasmus, and etc. And she worked also she worked as Albanian language and literature teacher in the Agency of Insurance and of the Quality of Education in Albania. Thank you, dear Irena. We hear her experience and what she is working and what she is doing and what she wants to achieve and what is the picture of the Albania education and also the Europe education. After Albania, we are going again a little through my country, through Bosnia and Herzegovina, through Serbia, and we come to Romania. from Romania. Today we have a great educator, a great amazing person, Lauria Stancia, a teacher at Superior School of Commerce Nicolae Crechev from Romania. She's a translator, she's an author of the book, she's a coordinator, participant in national, international projects, competitions, SDG Ambassador, Global Educationist Awarder, Babbitt International Publications Brand Ambassador. She is a Deputy Country Director of IIU Romania. And in one sentence, she's an amazing person. She's doing a lot for the education, not only in her school, not only for Romania, for Europe, and for all around the world, because she's encouraging learners, educators. As I said, she's an organizer and a coordinator of many projects. And be sure that our dear teacher Laura would invite you if you are interested to make programs and exchanges with ideas with your students. You can do that with Laura, and Laura is also doing that with our IIU. And I will repeat again, IIU has a great interactive knowledge exchange project called BICUP. If you don't involve your students yet, please involve them and be a part of the biggest interactive interaction knowledge project of IIU. Dear Laura, the IIU stage is yours and welcome. I'm always happy to be with you on the same stage.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nada, for this lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. I am very happy and honored to be here today to present for IIU. And I really wish to thank IIU for giving us so many opportunities to have collaborations, as Dr. Nada mentioned. It is very important both for teachers and for students to have this kind of projects and collaborations, because it opens up their mind and it offers countless opportunities to them. So my vision as an educator in Romania. There are many things that the pandemic has affected, and one of them is, of course, the educational sector. So a new vision for European teachers would mean to adapt to this new reality. We needed to adapt very fast to online learning and to find ways to motivating the students, keeping them engaged in the learning process. So a teacher's mission in my country and in all the countries should be to inspire, to motivate the learners, to help them discover their talents, to encourage them to reach their true potential, and to empower them. Because it is very important to know how to turn these little students that are before us into the leaders of tomorrow. Of course, educators need to prepare students for exams, but also for the most important test of all, the test of life. They need to be able to face all the challenges that come before them. And especially in the rural areas, we are facing this problem. Teachers are confronted with a lack of necessary means to teach them 21st century skills, such as digital skills. And we need to give students activities which are meaningful in today, in this day. And we need to motivate teachers as well. because what makes a good teacher is not only knowledge of the subject that we are teaching. It's also the enthusiasm, the love they give to the students, how they try to find the talent in each of their children, the passion for teaching, the care, and the ability they prove. We need to focus more on different type of exercises which focus on the skills that the students have. Because learners are divided, as we know, in 3 categories: the visual, the audio, and kinesthetic. And we need to find exercises that motivate and challenge all of them to join the learning process. We need to adapt, to use digital means, to use modern means of teaching in order to appeal to all kinds of learners. And this is why we need both the material base in each school. We need, for example, in my school, we have smart boards, but this is not, in some schools, they do not, don't have computers or basic material for learning digital skills. And that is why we need to work with the authorities to make this happen. And also we need to train teachers in order for them to be able to teach these skills. We need to find what is best in each student. We need skill-based learning to build upon knowledge by developing practical expertise in a particular area. We need communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity, because life skills-based education is a form of education that focuses on cultivating personal life skills, such as self-reflection, critical thinking, problem-solving, and interpersonal skills. Of course, academic results are important because they are the steps on which students climb towards success and a career that would bring them professional satisfaction. But we also need to teach them kindness, empathy, and this is where emotional intelligence plays a crucial role. We need to teach them resilience to be able to face whatever challenges come their way. We need to teach them how to be responsible citizens, how to lead a life that would benefit the world as well as themselves. Education should be directed towards the development of the child's fullest potential and should include life skills among essential learning tools for survival. Because everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it was stupid. These words were said by Albert Einstein. And I believe that we should find what is best in each student. If a student has a certain skill, we should encourage it and we should do our best to make that student realize his full potential. We also need students to be motivated, and the rewards we can give them are not just the marks, the grades that we give them, but also interesting lessons. And we need to give them a purpose. We need to make, this is one of the things that the Romanian education has to adjust. We need to give the students the purpose, why, the motive why they are learning. So to make the connection between what is taught in textbooks and real life skills. We need to give them the purpose and to help them build their mindset so that they would succeed in life, both on an academical and on a personal level. We need to learn how to adapt our teaching process. So we need to invest in courses for teachers. And we need to know how to move with the times. We need to bring the modern into the educational process. We need 21st century teaching methodologies, which means that they are student-oriented, focused on questioning, demonstrating, collaborating, not just simply exposing the things that need to be taught. The subjects need to be explained in a practical way so that the students understand why they are useful. They need to be activity-based, and we need emphasis on life skills. As I've said before, digital skills are essential in today's world, and also sustainable development goals skills, skills for the environment, for nature protection. We need to make students understand the value of equality, of empathy, and equity. The learner has to be the primary target. Modern teaching methods should be more activity-based, centered on the learner's intellect. We need to involve the students entirely in the process of learning by active exercises. We need to make them participate actively in the educational process. They are not only the recipients of knowledge, they have to play an active part. And the teacher should only lead the students to focus on the objectives of the subject. When the learning is centered on the student, it enables them to understand with practical exercises and experiments. For example, in my school and in many other schools, we have training companies. This is an apprenticeship for students to go to different companies and learn what it is like to be part of the business world. Because my high school is an economic one, we have to prepare them for the future, for their future career in business. As I've said before, task-based or activity-based learning means learn by doing, and with hands-on activities, learning becomes a much easier process. The students are involved in a practical way, and they are more motivated to complete their tasks. We know we need teachers to be resourceful and to rely not only of the technology which is available in schools, but also on the materials they could bring to the classroom, which should be interesting and engaging. And of course, students can play an active role by bringing their own materials and being part of the learning process. We should focus more on working in groups as a way of gathering knowledge and learning to collaborate and helping students to improve their communication skills. We have taken great steps lately in improving the educational process, but we still have a long way to go until it is considered perfect. And we need integrative means of teaching. Teachers should link topics of one subject to other issues and make it integrative, so that the learner can gain knowledge on more topics. We should focus more on modern teaching methods, for example, gamification, learning through games, which is motivating for students and it's a fun learning method, and projects. And being involved in IIU projects was a great opportunity for our students to collaborate with students from other countries, to learn the realities around the world, to have a virtual trip in places that they could only dream of. So I believe that we should never underestimate the little kids who look at us with eyes full of curiosity. The students of today are the leaders of tomorrow, and teachers need to make the young generations ready for the future. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. Thank you so much for your attention. Teachers change the world one child at a time. Thank you. Grazie.
Wonderful.
Yes, really.
Our dear Laura mentioned all the points. I can say each one important point. She's a teacher in a vocational school, in economic school where there are students, commercial, economics, administration. And all she said, what in Romania she is doing for the school, what is necessary for the education, which new steps needs to be making are really true. That is in almost all European countries. I mean, European countries which are the part of European Union. And what we are doing, what is our mission, what is our vision, how to improve the education system. I can say freely, it's a lot depends about us because we are the moderators. We are that persons who need to give our students the whole important knowledge and skills. Even we talk about hard skills, soft skills. You hear today from our teacher, Juan, he mentioned that Bloom's taxonomy, understanding. First, you need to understand. Then your student can understand. Remember, if you can't remember, your student also can't remember. Analyze. Analyze everything. Analyze is very important. Today, we have 10 countries, 10 speakers. Now I am analyzing the whole conference and giving the inputs and giving the conclusions of our speeches. How to revolutionize education, not only in Europe, all around the world. IIU is doing the best. IIU is giving all. And what to say, I am from Croatia. I'm an educator from Croatia. I work on the university and I work in a high vet school. uh, I can talk about the education in the high schools and in the education on the universities and make a correlation. All that we gave to our students in the high school is very important because then when they come to study, they can choose any study. If they are, I can say, we have that vet education. From vet education, you can choose any study, any master's, any bachelor, anything you want to choose. And IIU is offering 1,000+ courses, all the degrees, also honorary degrees, everything, honorary diplomas, all IIU has have. I want to say what will I say about the policy in Europe. In Europe, we need to have we have a lot of initiatives, a lot of policies, a lot of strategies. They are all defined. They are projects, long-term projects, and the main insights are always coming from our governments, from our policy makers, and that changes can only be addressed from the different from the diverse international education and from the skills challenges if you use the based approach. That is the based approach. What in the addition for the education is important? Laura said it before. I will not repeat all the skills, 21st skills which our students need to have, and we still need to make and try to do the best and to educate them to be a critical thinker, to be a great problem solver, to be a researcher. And we need to improve the all students' experiences. And first, we need to identify that. If we can't identify that, that is a big problem. So any strategy, any policy is coming first from we want to improve the student's experience and need to identify that. That is giving the opportunities that is giving the opportunities to make the teaching more effective and to enhance the effectiveness of teaching and learning. You see, I'm using the verbs because we need to always use the active verbs. Active verbs mean that you will active work. First, I mentioned is improve, improving. Another is determine. Why determine? We need to determine the all inequalities in education and find a way of solving that and addressing that. We have many rural parts. We have many parts which are not developed yet. We have still in Europe also many parts where we have bad internet connection. So that also need to be solved. And inclusive education for each one student, for students with special needs, or for students or we talk about the gift students. And we need to recognize that. We need to recognize that and today make the individualization for each student. That is very important. Other is how to improve the employability. We need to strengthen that from the schools, from the secondary schools. That is first addressed. We need to strengthen the employability because the students need to be competitive on the trade of work, on the trade of work, on the trade of the 21st skills, what skills and knowledge and competences did our students need to have. Curricula design. Curricula needs more redesignations and career guidance. That is very important, especially when the students are coming when they are finishing the primary school. Very important is a career guidance, and we need more career coaches who will help our students to choose the education choose the education which he needs to finish. That are many policies, and we need to recognize where we have the deficit, in which skills we have the deficit, and that is called today that is called the brain drain or the brain gain. That is very important. Brain drain and brain drain. Also, we need to improve and make the target on the new investments in our high quality education. Yes, we have a lot of universities, and I can say global known universities, but we need to target the investment which is needed today, and especially for the persons who needs help, and I can set a social needs. Then we need to identify the best practices, how to prepare our students to make the graduation, and how to become active citizenship. Laura also mentioned that before. To be an active citizenship, we need to involve in our all subjects. 17 SDG goals. Each one needs to be involved, and that agenda really need to be achieved. So I will say it again, many European countries are offering excellent opportunities for education, for working, for living, and for, I can say, for traveling. Uh, we are moderators, and education today is playing a crucial role, I can say a vital role in in the growth of the society. I'm thinking on the economic growth, and then if we have economic growth and a good social context, we can talk about Europe in the education. And if we moved from many countries today. We listen our Gogo from the Greece. We listen our Paulina from Poland, our Laura from Romania, our Irena from Albania, our Dragan from Macedonia, our Melissa from Italy, our Juan from Spain, our Lika from Georgia, our Inga from Georgia, and me from Croatia. I can say that across the all continents, there are, and across the continents and across all the countries, we have um, attitude, and we can set each even the country is my neighbor. I can say that we have maybe a different education, maybe a different education system, and each one of that countries need to approach the education for their population. And Europe is really for all, for living, I said, traveling, that Europe is a very attractive destination, and it is well deserved. It has a great reputation, a reputation, a big reputation, and also a excellence of the students. Today, we are here on IIU's great platform, and IIU, like an internship international university, also has a great experience, a big global experience with 1,000+ educators with experience and with a high education, and I can say a world-class education. In IIU, we have many educators that maybe you never see in life, but they are working very hard. They are working very hard. So that is the reason that we are today in the Europe, and we want with IIU, with Europe wants the to have all benefits and to have the choices for making education together, for making internships together, to making early child's programs, primary programs, high education programs, university programs, and more. So, as we show today, Europe is really ready to share knowledge and revolutionize education with our great Dr. Inga Karchilova from Georgia. And I want to say, Dr. Inga, do you have anything enlighten us with your points before we have a vote of thanks and before we finish this great and amazing conference?
Wow, congratulations, everyone. Oh my God, I am really very happy today. It was really amazing conference. I am so happy. We have done it together. All speakers were amazing. Wow, thank you so much. Okay, we will have the following conference on the 8th of July, where other countries also will join us. Thank you so much again. Thanks a lot, dear doctor, my best friend, Nadarat coach. Thank you so, so much. You are really, really very welcome there. I'm so proud of you. Yes, today is very important day for us. Thank you so much. I'm very happy. Congratulations, everyone. Europe is
Big,
great.
big clap for our great Dr. Inga, for our great Dr. Inga, for her great work, for everything she is doing, for IIU, for Europe, for all the educators around the globe. So what to say? I will tell. Today was a really great and amazing and unique event and it is the first European International Conference on the new visions for European teachers in education. And it was an event for all educators around the globe, organized by the unique International Internship University, IIU Europe. First and foremost, I want to thank to our great project director, Miss Inga Karchilava, on your great project. I want to thank the person behind the success of today's event, who is continuously guiding us, motivating us, and putting his the best in our founder of IIU, Sir Piyush Pandit. Words are not sufficient to express our heartfelt gratitude to you. Then it is also, and no words to express my gratitude to all of you great speakers for your valuable time, for enriching us with your great thoughts. And I'm really happy to know that we are having very soon, as Dr. Inga said, at 8 July, a new conference where we will have new speakers from different countries from the Europe. Thank you, Team IIU, for being so supportive. Thank you, lovely audience on the Facebook, watching, listening, and thank you for being a part of this great conference. IIU is the change. IIU brings the change. IIU is the revolution. Be the change with IIU. Now, today, after this conference, I can set for correct 1 hour we will have a training session with Miss Rania Lampu from Greece. She will have a training session about the STEM. So take a lunch, take a breath, take a little rest, and join us again for 1 hour. Till our next conference, stay safe, stay blessed, and let's continue working together like we work until today because we want to be a change. We want to bring education to each one child to have an education, and Europe is really ready. Europe today proved that Europe is ready to make a big revolution with IIU, with the educators in the Europe, and to make the education like we want to have. Thank you very much, and see
Thank you.
next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, and congratulations, everyone. Wow, well done.
Bye.